Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
All right, we're back after a few days of not really rest, not really relaxation, but I wasn't at work, so it was good enough.
Hey, man, that was an awesome Viking concert.
It really was. At any rate, hope you guys had a good holiday, and it turns out neither of us have ever seen Cyber City Uedo.
Which is strange, because Kawajiri is awesome.
Fucking weird. I thought I saw all the Kawajiri stuff. All the old Madhouse stuff. I mean, it's like right in my wheelhouse, and it just like blind spot. No idea.
And it was available back in the day, too. It wasn't like never brought over here.
It's literally everything I like about anime.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did that. Got 2 weeks of shows to talk about.
Yep.
We watched a wild-ass fucking claymation movie.
Mad God.
You've probably heard of it, and if you haven't, you're in for a treat. And we caught up on the Dr. Stone OVA.
Yep.
It's like that middle part between the end of the series and the very last like scene in the series.
It explains how the hell they have a boat.
Yeah, how he got a motherfucking boat. So, but anyway, lots to talk about. Before that, as usual, the news.
Yeah, man, news. All right, so first bit of news. Again, always hate to start off on bad news, but got to mention this one.
But we do it every time.
Jason David Frank, White Ranger, Green Ranger, from Power Rangers, unfortunately, self-deleted himself.
That's so sad.
Earlier this month. Yeah, or last month, I guess, technically now. Yeah, it is really sad. I mean, there's a lot of who knows what the real story is. There's been a lot of rumors about, problems he had with his wife and stuff, but, not the time to speculate about that. And it
seems like the hardest thing in the world is being kind of famous for a while and then not going anywhere.
Just such a shame. Everybody
it chews up a lot of people.
Everybody I've heard who talked about him said he was like a super solid dude and, not one of those caught by the Hollywood machine, awful human beings. Like,
I heard he was like super cool at conventions.
Yeah, just like a legit awesome guy. So, R.I.P. man. That really sucks.
Does.
I was never even a big Power Rangers guy, just because I was a little too old at the time. But man, still some classic shit, and such a shame. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Get away from depressing news. Well, there'll be plenty of depressing news. Don't you worry. This bit of news is not depressing. So Dallos, which did we ever actually review Dallos, or did we just talk about it at some point? I don't remember. We definitely watched it kind of.
I think we did a review of it
in the past year or two.
I think we did a review of it before we were doing the podcast, but when we were doing the reviews.
Yeah.
So like the first 20-some episodes.
So Dallos, the first, quote-unquote, first OVA, came out in the early 80s, 5-parter. It's, didn't Oshii do it?
I think so. It's really weird.
He worked on it. I don't know if he was
responsible.
He didn't do the whole thing, but yeah, he definitely worked on it. He directed at least one episode. Really cool. I wish it had a really cool like Ancient Aliens thing going on.
Yeah, it really did.
Giant robot monster.
I liked it.
It was very cool. So definitely recommended. But it is getting a Blu Ray release, thanks to Discotech, which Discotech brings out a lot of cool stuff. At least I think it's Discotech.
Who else would it be?
Yeah, Discotech. Oh, no. Discotech released it in... Sorry. Back up. Discotech did the last release, which was in 2014 on DVD. This is the Blu-ray release, and it's Bandai Namco doing the Blu-ray release.
Wow, big time.
March of next year. So, sorry, Discotech still rules. But...
I got to make a big order. There's been a ton of shit that's come out. Did Maddox ever come out? I remember that Blu-ray was scheduled to come out.
I don't know. We'll have to check. Like you said, it's going to be the time around Christmas to like, especially since it would be sales.
To waste a bunch of money.
Catch up on stuff.
Buy myself some
Christmas presents. Hey man, sometimes you got to sail the high seas, but I like to give anime companies
for stuff like that.
For stuff that's good.
Like a super sexy, cleaned up Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, so
worth it.
Dallos, definitely cool. Definitely check it out. I think it's still streaming. I think it was streaming on Amazon.
Yeah,
so you can
we
still
watched
watch
it
it,
on
but
Amazon.
if you got a 4K Blu-ray coming out, it may not be 4K, but you got a Blu-ray coming out, cleaned up. That's gonna be real damn cool. So check that out. It was a recommend for sure. All right, so the next bit is this is a quick one. There's a new Mario Brothers movie trailer out. I can check out. You can see what the princess looks like, some more Mario stuff.
I thought that came out already.
What have you? The movie? No, movie's not out yet.
Everything comes out and is gone before I even know about it.
April.
It's
it was
just bam.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out this December, but it's coming out next April. So regardless, there's another trailer out there. Just a heads up. Go check it out. It looks interesting. I mean,
I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah.
I liked all the designs, and I mean that's really
designs are good. For, right? I mean, apart from Chris Pratt, not really being the best fit for Mario. No offense, love Chris. I mean, I love Chris Pratt's great. Terminalist, man, good shit. But Mario, I'm not so sure. Anyway, we'll find out.
I guess if you're not gonna do super stereotypical Italian voice, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. You're not wrong. Yeah, we'll
I know John Leguizamo's super mad.
It's not grating. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Anyway, moving on. So another trailer came out, and I am surprised at how entertaining this looks. So new Transformers movie, Rise of the Beasts, which is set in the Bumblebee movie timeline. And the Bumblebee movie was...
So it might not suck?
Yeah, the Bumblebee movie was, to me, a lot better than the Bayverse movies.
I think so, yeah.
Although I still like Last Night, the third one, it's got freaking Spock.
Oh, yeah, it's Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy. That one is a little overlong, but I thought that one was the most entertaining.
Probably,
of the old ones. I'm not saying it was great, but it was entertaining. Most of the rest of them are pretty bad.
There was so much crap in there for Chinese audiences.
Yeah.
All Dinobots crap at the end. It's
But Rise of the Beast, man, it looks pretty cool. The designs look to be on point again. Optimus looks good. He's got the proper faceplate. You got RC. The Beast designs look pretty goddamn cool, and they're big.
Yeah, I saw them.
Giant cyber beast. You got friggin' Optimus Primal. I saw Cheetor.
Who is directing it?
Not Michael Bay.
Michael Bay has been shot into the center of the sun.
Yeah.
He probably had so much shit that he could have got Me Too'd for that they just stuffed him in a closet somewhere.
Stephen Capel Jr. I don't think he's the guy who did Bumblebee. But it looks good. The choice of song for the trailer was interesting because it was if you don't know, now you know. Except, they obviously cut it off there every time and didn't finish that lyric. So
that's
you go find out for yourself how that ends if you like gamer words. But trailer actually looks pretty cool. It looks like a cool movie. Now I think everybody's kind of hoping if they're going to keep making these, and they're pretty good, I wouldn't mind seeing it, that they just kind of ignore the Bay movies and there's a continuity shift or something.
I would hope
because they're already
so.
saying it's in between, which already doesn't make any sense because it doesn't make any sense. So
no, not at all.
So we'll see. But anyway, it looks pretty damn cool. So go check out that trailer. It is all over the damn place right now because it just got published today. Well, yesterday at time of broadcast. All right, so
brand spanking.
Moving on. This is just a heads up if you want a little. If you're a bit of a vinyl fiend and you want a little addition to your collection, anime style.
I do.
Macross Plus. They are releasing the soundtrack, and it's like a soundtrack box set. So it's the soundtrack 2, original soundtrack plus for fans only, and the Sharon Apple one, all on vinyl. So that's kind of neat.
That's pretty awesome, but I'm sure it's outrageously expensive.
So it's being done by Yen Press. So that's in the West.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess it's cheaper because if anybody knows, so I own very little Japanese vinyl, but I do own, I think 2 or 3 of the Gundam soundtracks from original Gundam.
A little pricey.
Dude, they're like $60-$70 all pop.
And they're single records. It's not like you get doubles.
Yeah, and they're very nice, don't get me wrong, but that's just what Japan charges for this kind of stuff.
It's like they're fucking shit with Blu Rays where it's like $1 billion.
Yeah, whereas, you can get the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack over here, pressed in the U.S. or pressed for the U.S. anyway.
Pressed.
And it's $30, right? So it's more U.S. vinyl price, $25 to $35. So hopefully it'll be more U.S. price, and hopefully that box set. It looks like it's a box set. Maybe they're going to release them separate, but it looks like it's the box set. Hopefully that'll release and only be like under 100, $150. So something cool. I don't know if I'll pick it up, even though I think Macross Plus has one of the better soundtracks out there. Again, I just don't. It's got to be something real special for me to want the vinyl soundtrack of it. Like the original Gundam. You got to have Here Comes Char. I mean, come on.
Sha.
But yeah, that's coming out. That looks pretty cool. There's also going to be a Dr. Stone soundtrack, Little Witch Academia, ReZero. Not as interesting to me soundtrack-wise, but...
I'm just not... I wouldn't buy anything new, probably.
Yeah. But anyway, go check that out if you're interested. Honestly, if you collect vinyl and you like vinyl anime soundtracks, Right Stuff actually has a bunch of them, or whatever. I don't know if they're still calling themselves Right Stuff.
They are still Right Stuff.
Yeah. But they do have a bunch, so check them out. All right. Moving on. So this is, we always like to talk about exhibits when they're around and stuff you can go see. A lot of times it's in Japan, so, kind of limited audience and hard to do. But there's one in the U.S. Unfortunately, it's going to be in L.A., so, bring your plate carrier. But there's 4-hour workshops and an exhibit for Studio Trigger. Sushio is the animator. December 10th to January 8th in the U.S. So this is a guy who worked at Gainax before working at Triggers. So, I mean, pretty damn cool. Question and answer, like I said, workshops.
I hate that California's closer to Japan than I am.
Yeah.
Because that shit never makes it to the East Coast. It's really annoying.
I mean, worked on key animated for Gurren Lagann, worked on Penny and Stocking, worked on Kill la Kill. Like, pretty cool, right? So... worth checking out if you're in the area. Go check out the art exhibit at least, even if you don't want to have anything to do with the workshop. It's at Gallery Nucleus in LA. So go check that out if you're in the area. All right, moving on. More. This is another limited release kind of thing. So Fathom Events, they do all sorts of stuff in the U.S. where you can go see.
Random old movies,
new movies, whatever. So, they're not always the best. Sometimes they screw up with video quality and stuff, but this one will probably be just fine because this is a newer thing. So they are going to screen Shin Ultraman, 2 days only, January 11th and 12th. So if you're interested in seeing that in the theater, I would say go check it out.
Fuck, we forgot to watch that.
We haven't watched it yet.
I forgot.
There's
I
no
hunted
forgot.
it down and everything.
There was no forgot. We watched...
No, I literally forgot I even did it.
Yeah, no. We watched other stuff, but we are going to get around to watching it sooner rather than later.
I got my advanced screening in.
Yeah, man. We're going to watch it, and we'll give you our thoughts on it. But if you want to go see it in the theater, and I might, if it's good, I'm definitely going to go see it in the theater.
If it's local, hell yes.
Yeah, if it's local. Usually for Fathom, there's one of the theaters within a 30-minute drive will have it. But sometimes it's more limited, and you got to drive like up to Boston, and that's not happening. Not for this. Anyway, it's coming out. It's going to be screening. Go take a look at Fathom Events, and you can see where it's screening. For you, like I said, January 11th and 12th in the U.S. All right, so there's a bit of Netflix news. We love Netflix news. So NHK has demanded that Netflix remove any of its titles that are on Netflix.
Whoa!
Because NHK does not enjoy that Netflix has ad-supported subscription tiers. So pretty based of them, gotta say.
I'm impressed.
Now, granted, who knows exactly, what their real motivation is. Like, are they mad because they're not getting a cut? Like, who knows?
I don't know, but I hate fucking ads.
Oh, so apparently they have a policy. This is their claim. They have a policy that, if it could be misconstrued that the NHK thing that you're showing is endorsing a certain product.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
They don't like it. So
especially with Netflix, God knows what they could be.
Oh, God knows what they could do. I hate to tell them that there's already horrible things on Netflix. It doesn't give a list of titles here, so I can't tell you what it is. But anything that it's NHK is probably going to be Well, could be off the line in the future. Apparently, for now, Netflix looks like they may have sidestepped the issue by removing ads from anything NHK. So even if you have an ad-supported subscription, you will not see ads for your NHK stuff.
I didn't even know that they did that.
Yeah, so anyway. We'll see how this develops, but interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I don't like ad-supported anything, and I always pay more. But I don't mind if there's an ad-supported tier and a non-ad-supported tier. I will pay you more.
Yeah, it doesn't really bug
If people
me.
want to pay less and get ads, more power to them, right? Like, who cares?
It's basically old-timey TV where you had to watch them.
So anyway, just a little bit of drama going on, and if you see NHK stuff disappear, then well, now you might know why. All right, so here's another legacy things, legacy media, legacy, distributors, legacy damn near everything kind of pooping its pants. So AMC Networks, their CEO stepped down and they announced a bunch of layoffs. Why does that matter for anime? Well, AMC does own Sentai and High Dive.
I knew that, yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen here? I would highly doubt much will happen with Sentai or High Dive because they're not exactly high dollar value. I could see High Dive getting sold to one of the other streaming services.
How does AMC
like Crunchy
even still exist?
AMC is they're like FX. They're one of the smarter cable networks that actually produced decent quality shows.
Yeah,
That's
I forgot
how they
that
exist.
they made like original stuff.
I mean, they did.
Because the amount of old people watching
Breaking
like,
Bad.
classic movies. Yeah, I forgot they did Breaking Bad. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm done.
Did they do Walking Dead? They did Walking Dead. So
Right, they did do Walking Dead.
That's how they exist, right? It's
I'm
stuff.
an idiot. I forgot that they actually did stuff.
Yeah, well, because otherwise you think, hey, AMC, what the hell garbage they got going on?
How many old people are still left like watching fucking movies from?
But yeah,
the 40s?
them and FX to me were the two most
Yeah, I completely forgot they did all that original stuff.
bulletproof.
Yep, you're right. I'm an idiot.
Yep. So anyway,
I wonder why they're losing money.
apparently they did AMC Plus. They were one of those ones who thought they could do their own goddamn service.
And it went poorly.
That's not going to work. You can't. People are not interested in 800 different fucking services, you idiots.
Yeah, you got to bundle that shit, man.
Like,
it's already worse than cable. It's like the same money at this point.
Yeah, you got to have stuff together. Like, at least Paramount Plus has it's got live CBS stuff. It's got, it's got some stuff mixed in. I'm not saying
Not
it's
that I
perfect,
expected anything to get cheaper or better, but they really shit their pants.
They really did. Well, I suppose they didn't spend like $1 billion on a crashing, failing series. Amazon.
It's worse than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah.
No, I mean it is. I never could have imagined it was that bad.
Yeah. So anyway, nothing yet
bad.
that it's gonna, do anything to Sentai or High Dive. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if High Dive gets swallowed up by something. Honestly, Retro Crush and High Dive should probably be the same thing.
Yeah, that would be perfect, man.
Kind of makes sense.
They got everything.
Anyway, moving on. I want some competition, mind you. I don't want a monopoly there. I don't want Crunchyroll to be everything, but we shall see. All right, moving on because we got a lot to go over today. So this is not a joke. This is not a fever dream. This is true.
Facts.
And YouTube, it's available on YouTube. So, Thomas the Tank Engine has been reimagined as Thomas the Salaryman
That's terrifying.
by the Japanese.
Man, I'm going to watch that right now.
So, here's where it becomes even more of a fever dream. Yeah, it's obviously actual actors. But in the bottom right corner is also the Thomas the Tank Engine episode related to it playing at the same time.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, if you want to get real freaking baked and lose your damn mind, go YouTube Thomas the Salaryman and see what the hell's going on.
Now I got something to do over the Christmas to New Year's break.
That's some crazy shit, right? Anyway, moving on. That's just a little disturbing news, right? So this is just a little bit of interesting news, and this is the last bit of news. And I think we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago, or a month ago. So Fuji Creative, Tokyo Agency, Same 2, and Hakuhodo. So all these different Japanese companies that are, tangentially related to anime production and the entertainment industry in general in Japan. They got searched related to that Olympic bribery scandal, which I know we covered previously.
Yes, definitely.
So who knows exactly what's going on there. Apparently there's allegedly 26 rigged open bids for the rights to plan a bunch of the events.
Damn.
So, shock. Corruption surrounding the Olympics? No.
Gee, the only thing more corrupt than the Olympics is fucking FIFA.
The World Cup. We won't talk about the slaves and the deaths and the hey.
You're right, we won't, because soccer's stupid. Sorry, people who aren't in the United States, but football, air quotes, is stupid and boring. Much like baseball. Sorry, old guys who like baseball, also boring and stupid.
Yeah. I wish I could get into it because so much.
So much nostalgia.
And just so much entertainment, theoretically. Right? If you really love baseball, man, you got 150-something games, 162 games.
It's literally always on.
Always on.
But if you're under 70, probably not so much.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note.
Fuck basketball, too.
All right, calm down. That's the news.
I don't want to seem like I was biased.
Yeah, fair enough. Fuck basketball because they keep bending the knee to frickin' China. All right.
Among other things.
I'm not
going to get into it. Anyway.
Moving on.
Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. I'm sorry. The Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer. That's the actual title.
Sure.
Anyway. 2 weeks ago, it was more Golem shit. But then this past week, they got down to it. They explained everything. So basically, I read it and I only remembered half this shit because my brain is so old and rotten. But anyway, so where do I even start? Animus and Anima from the future.
Okay.
They're twins.
Fucking time travel.
They're twins. Nope. They're fucking psychers. They're dirty, dirty psychers.
Call your local inquisitor.
So
call
obviously,
the black ships.
Anima's not evil, but Animus is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And he kills a whole space shuttle full of people, and then he's like, man, breaking stuff is great. So he destroys the Earth. He conjures up this giant stupid hammer, and he destroys the Earth.
The entire Earth.
Yes. And then he realizes he can go into different universes. And he destroys the Earth a bazillion times.
What a dick.
Just keeps doing it in alternate realities. So Anima's also the Anima, they explained the Anima Samidare thing. Because at first, they make you think that Samidare is Anima and Animus' sister.
Yep.
But it's not. The chick that shows up later with the crazy halo with the planet in it, that's actually his sister. That's actually Anima. She was using Samidare as a an avatar because she's lazy and I don't know.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so she wants to stop him from blowing up Infinite Earths. So she's not more powerful than him, so she can't really stop him. But she could basically impose rules on him, so he has to work to do it. And that's the whole Beast Knight. They try to stop him. So far, they have never successfully stopped him. But since they wrote a manga about this time, I'm feeling confident.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's that episode. They explained everything. I'm not going to give you every little twist and turn in case you haven't seen the episode.
You got to watch it.
But a lot of shit in there. It was nice to have everything explained.
It sounds still entertaining enough and watchable.
Well, yeah, because I think it's going to be a nice tight 24 episodes too, because they seem like they're rounding out to the end.
Yeah.
So I'm into it. I can't wait to see the end. What's that other one with the ninjas?
Shinobi no Itoki.
Itoki. I always forget his fucking name. Yeah. Anyway, they're full on ninja war. Basically, Koga owns everything and everyone.
They're speed running Naruto. Got it.
Yeah, basically. So they
Tell me when Sasuke's brother
they
shows up
kidnapped
again.
his mom. They tried to kill her. He decides that she's not around, so he's like chief of the Iga village. That chick who keeps betraying him. Then she finally pulls it out.
You met women, right?
She finally pulls it out at the end and like decides not to and helps him out.
It's the most unrealistic thing I've ever heard.
The guys who are investigating, like the whole like ninja cops they're investigating.
Yep.
Like one of them is bought off by the Koga clan and he like murders the guy in charge. And then that chick that his uncle is always trolling.
Yep.
Like finally figures it out and like arrests that guy and blah blah blah. Whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, watch the episode.
So intrigue and
yeah, it's like it's
war
getting
and-
to like they docked around a while and it was very tropey, but now it's still tropey, but they're getting into it. So a lot in that episode. Interesting. I'm not gonna waste a ton of time on it because we don't have a lot of time today. But good stuff. And they still got a ton of episodes left. Like they're getting down to it. And it's only like episode 10 or something. So
Yeah, they're gonna do like 26 or
I don't
24.
think so. Feels like a 12 episoder.
We'll see.
But he hasn't fought that kid yet. I'm sure he won't kill him.
It could be a multiple season.
I think he's just gonna shame him. Shame. You're a dick.
All right, so let's talk about Witch for Mercury. So we got 2 episodes. The first one is not much happens. Basically, it's the freaking trap card episode.
It really is.
Where was it Miorine?
Yeah, they formed the company.
Yeah, they formed the country. Soletta and Miorine form like a company.
She basically gets burned for having a Gundam. And
Yeah.
they're gonna like try to take it away and put everybody in jail.
Yeah, so she had fought that pale group. I can't remember what the hell the guy's name is, but she had fought that other mobile suit that was a Gundam, and it was obviously a Gundam. And then there was Resonance, so they knew that it was a gun. You know, the Ariel is a Gundam.
It was a trap.
They've been denying it the whole time. So, you know, Miorine basically it was a trap, but then Miorine uses her clout with her father a little bit because he's a dick, but he can't really completely like let her be. You know, it's still his daughter. And she basically forms a company because they're at an event where like all the companies get together and do startups and stuff and network and whatever. So she starts a company that's basically like, well, screw it, we're gonna research Gundams and we're gonna do something good with it because what the hell, guys? Like everybody's working on Gundams anyway, so may as well just do it.
Yeah, you're obviously all working on them in secret, so whatever.
And no one's gonna invest in it. And then once her old man invests in it, like then everybody invests in it. So she starts a company to work on Gundams. And I do love Soletta's mother who's like, oh no, it's totally a Gundam. Because I was like, it's not a Gundam, right? She's like, nah, it totally is. Don't worry about it.
It's been one the whole time. I just don't want to freak anybody out.
It's like, oh man, come on. And then the second episode is them actually kind of standing up the company. Again, it's
she basically just like takes all the Earth guys as like slave labor.
Yeah, she enlists all the Earth people.
Like, you're my company now. You work for me.
I like the one kid that's just about money. Like, no, man, we're gonna talk about bonuses and salary structure.
Yeah, it's like, I'm in, but only if I get paid.
But
which fair enough.
It's kind of cheesy because it's a student company, but it makes some sense. They got to write their business plan. They got to do
it's like that last episode's like all paperwork, and
articles
shit.
of incorporation. Like it's actually legit. Like, oh god, it's
I
bureaucracy.
like how all the random like Earth house assholes actually have personalities.
Yes,
and different character designs. They're all like very different. They
yeah,
actually like wasted time on it.
The show has done a really good job with that, and. It was...
You know how certain Gundam shows were.
And again, there's no real fights going on in these episodes, but they're still good, and it's laying some groundwork that's kind of necessary. So I don't mind that
I feel
all.
like it's going to go the 52 episode.
My one bitch about a lot of the older Gundam shows, like Zeta Gundam in particular, I'm thinking of, even Double Zeta, like, there doesn't need to be a goddamn random mobile suit battle that's completely pointless every episode. There's too many pointless mobile suit battles where it's just like, oh no, they're sortieing, sortie, and then nothing happens. Like,
they were still like very much in the Monster of the Week.
Yeah,
back then.
And look, it's fine, but it would have been. They could have used some of that time to flesh out characters a little bit, and not that you got to be careful not to get too slow. But there's plenty of mobile suit battles in that matter and are very good. I don't need the random like pew pew. Oh, nothing happens. Mobile suit battles.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of those too.
It's just mobile suit porn.
Don't get me wrong. Zeta Gundam is still a way better show than Witch for Mercury is so far. but that's because I'm old school. But anyway, they form the company, and they successfully figure out what they're going to do. Miorine goes and finds out from
she gets kind of the history,
the history of the Gund format and how it was really meant to help humans go into space and survive all the horrible radiation and injuries and missing limbs and whatever other stuff you got.
Space is dangerous, kids.
Space is horrible, right? So it was meant to interface better with humans and do that, and that was the whole point of the format. People just used it for evil.
As they do.
And they still haven't really explained why the Ariel doesn't do it. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it's Suletta that's special and not the Ariel necessarily.
Yeah, I think that's more the deal.
Anyway, a decent enough episode. I mean, they're just good filler episodes. You know, some bitching online about, the animation quality and this and that. Like, it's a goddamn filler episode. I don't want them spending money on the animation in the freaking build the business episode. It can look a little worse. I'm okay. Save that money for Mobile Suit Battles, goddammit.
Have a few beers first and you won't notice. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
It's fine.
Calm the fuck down.
Again, I don't mind. I don't mind. And none of it's as bad as the infamous Macross episode where it's like still frames. And there was awesome stuff going on in that episode.
It'll always, like, I would love to crowdfund just a reanimation of that episode.
Or
because it's one of the wackiest episodes and I love it, but it's just
Gundam style.
Junk.
I want a complete movie
yes,
about
that episode. That is an amazing idea.
Just to see Max sneaking around in the frickin' Valkyrie, like with a trench coat on.
Man, when this is
so
like
good.
when this is over, I'm gonna hit up the Japan phone and tell them to get on it.
People, if you have not watched the original Macross, you really owe it yourself to watch the original Macross.
Yeah, do
it's
yourself
awesome.
do yourself a favor.
Anyway, moving on. Mob Psycho. So we watched 2 episodes. I really want to talk about this week's episode. You know what? Let's talk about it next week because it's kind of a 2-parter going on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about last week's because last week's was crazy as hell.
Super wacky.
Kind of a standalone. I mean, they did the setup for it before, so they were going up to Mount Mudboat to find, summon an alien spacecraft. And what? Surprise, surprise! They actually summon an alien spacecraft, and there's these crazy pink aliens.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know, sorority girls hanging out.
Right? And they go up to their spaceship and they hang out for the, all night, and then they go back, but they kidnap one of the kids and bring them back to their home planet and, like, I don't know, make them their huge celebrity, their god. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like,
and then dump them off eventually.
And then eventually dump them off back on her.
Pretty funny.
They don't really mistreat him. It's just funny. It's kind of cool. And they make it seem like it was forever, but I don't.
Yeah, it's like
it was like hours
couple weeks
or a couple weeks. Or,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it was that long.
It was pretty funny though.
It was pretty cool.
I like that it was just a wacky out there episode.
A really wacky out there episode, kind of experimental. Like I appreciate it, man. Like Mob Psycho is the perfect thing for that.
Oh yeah, just go wild, man. So like ridiculous to begin with.
I'm only sad that it wasn't just Spaceship Dimple.
Yeah, I know.
At the end. But we can save that for later.
Save that, yeah.
Space Dandy comes up in this review I'm looking at. It did have a bit of a Space Dandy feel
for
sure.
Very much did, yeah.
Not as crude, but Space Dandy's so good. We'll review that someday too.
Oh, we should. That did not get as much love as it deserved.
Anyway, that was Mob Psycho. Urusei Yatsura. Haven't watched the episode this week. We'll go over it next week. Last week was just more silliness. There wasn't really much serious going on at all.
Is there ever?
Yeah, it was just yeah. I mean, did anything even happen?
It was just wacky hijinks.
I mean, it was like it was what's her name? Sakura and like her special boyfriend or special friend.
Oh yeah, they're like on a date and everybody was creeping on
her. And there was the demon.
It was the
demon in the pool.
It was kind of a stock beach episode, except they were at a water park at a hotel, which I guess they.
Well, then they were at the beach later, but there was the demon in the pool.
Yes.
And then there was the kid who had like his special like animal friend that he'd saved, and then come to find out it was just Cherry.
Yeah, it's like it's in the box the whole episode, and his mom like told him to get rid of it. You can't keep it. And at the very end of the episode, they find the box is just Cherry. Like,
it's like, oh god damn it!
So Cherry, your pet was like a creepy old man.
Cherry's the best character. Anyway, just funny, just a good, hilarious episode.
As usual. It does its job, and that is its job, just to make me laugh.
So I do love me some Urusei Yatsura.
And the fucking animation is gorgeous as usual.
Studio David, man. I'm only giving him guff because, like, David, come on, you know the thing you have to do.
I know.
Kenshiro awaits, goddammit.
Somebody has to finance it. Like, pull the trigger on that thing.
Maybe after. I always thought it was the thing to do after JoJo's. Like, once you finish JoJo's, take the people who worked on JoJo's and do.
It would be poetry. I mean, it has to. It has to. I mean,
what's his name? Oh shoot, I used to know his name. Arai, the guy who does JoJo's, he's a total fiend for Fist of the North Star.
Well, obviously,
go pull some strings, man. Go make it happen. Yeah, a lot of the aesthetic of JoJo's, especially early on, is very Fist of the North Star.
Oh yeah.
Then it gets far more fabulous, but
yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
That's a scam.
I mean, they're on Steel Ball Run already, I think. So they're getting real close to everything of JoJo's that's out being animated.
Yeah, they're deep, man.
They are, which is cool. I like when they follow through and really do everything.
You might as well, right? Have they got to Raptor Dio yet?
If they're on Steel Ball Run, they got to be at Raptor Dio,
Is
right?
that Raptor Dio?
Yeah, I think it's done Steel Ball Run. Ridiculous. All right. So one more show, Chainsaw Man. And boy, did shit get real in Chainsaw Man. So
yeah, they went wild.
There was 2 episodes. So one episode was basically just a, hey, we're going out drinking episode to celebrate the
fact
fact
always funny
that we escaped the hotel. So that was cool. And
poor Denji.
Poor Denji gets his first kiss and gets puked into his mouth.
Don't kiss drunk girls,
it's
man.
So gross. Oh God, it's so gross. That show has no shame with being so goddamn gross.
That's its charm.
And then he's actually pretty circumspect and self-restrained when it comes to getting it on in the episode. He's like, no, I will not. I'm saving myself for
what's her face?
I can't remember her name, but yeah. And then
Makishima?
And then there's
Mishima,
whatever her name
something.
is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not good at remembering all the names from Chainsaw Man yet.
I can't remember names from shit.
Anyway, and then it fucking pops off in the next episode because everybody's getting assassinated. Everybody. There's just people walking around with freaking 45s, freaking 1911s,
just blasting motherfuckers,
blasting everybody. So, what's your face's name? I can't remember. God damn it, I'm so sorry. The one who's in charge of all the hunters. She gets killed, but she's got some demon stuff going on, man. I highly doubt she's actually dead.
She's got those crazy eyes, man.
Friggin' puke in the face girl gets disappeared.
Yes. The 2 new recruits.
Gets everybody gets freaking smoked. It's ridiculous. Now we'll see how this all ends up, and there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in Chainsaw Man. So what sticks and what doesn't, who knows? Denji gets shot, but I said it, man. Someone needs to walk over and pull his goddamn ripcord so he can deal with this problem.
Yeah, if I was Eye Patch Chick, I would have just
I'm assuming Power will go do it at some point.
Yeah,
she is mostly useless.
I would use my ghost hands to just pull his ripcord and let him roll.
Yeah, but great fucking episode. Really ups the ante. Obviously shows why it's a problem to go after the gun demon, because it's clear that all these people are
just possessed
by or working on behalf of or blackmailed into or who knows, working for the gun demon. Plus you see the first Denji-like guy in Katana Man.
Yes.
Right? Because he's got swords that come out of his head and arms, and he's got the same kind of mouth and similar powers, very similar to Denji. So
they actually mentioned that too. It's it's the Fox Steve. It's what the fuck have you fed me?
This is neither human nor demon, just like Denji. So very cool.
That's interdasting.
Yeah, very, very good. This show,
awesome
man,
episode, and they always hang. Every fucking episode ends on a cliffhanger, so you're just like, God damn it! But I almost want to save it up and
The map is doing a great job. The animation looks really good.
Oh yeah.
I can't say enough good things, man. If you're not watching Chainsaw Man, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I can't imagine anybody isn't.
It's freaking awesome. It's worth it. Track it down whatever way you can. It's streaming on Crunchy, but I mean, look, you got to do what you got to do. You go do it, because it is worth watching 100%. Anyway, I believe that's all the shows.
Yep.
So let's talk about Let's talk about the Dr. Stone OVA. RYUSUI.
Oh man, it hit the spot. I've been like jonesing for Dr.
Really
Stone.
good. So this is like an
I
hour long.
I need some damn science.
Yeah, and it does bridge the gap because the very end of the last season they show him like sailing across the seas, and you're like, wait, what? How?
How do
Who's
you
the
get
guy
that-
with the pirate hat? I don't understand.
How do you get that giant ass boat?
Yeah, I don't understand any of this. So in this, he decides, okay, well, we have to go figure out what caused this, right? If we're gonna bring civilization back, we're gonna figure out.
Yeah,
what the
somehow
hell
they
happened.
figure out that like it started on the other side of the world, so they have
Yep.
to go there.
So they have to go there, right? So they got to make a boat because they are in Japan. They got to make a boat and get there. So he's got to make a sailboat in order to get there. So they do sailboat design contest, which is funny as hell.
Everybody scribbles shitty boat pictures.
And then they figure out freaking Magma. So good. Magma's great in this. Always funny. But then they, figure out how they're going to make it. They're going to make hemp cloth sails, and that takes a long time and it's a lot of work. They got to create a loom to make the cloth. It's just cool, the stuff that they do. And now I don't mind that they kind of shorthand some of this stuff now. It's just like
You kind of have to.
they're at the level
I mean,
where they can just make stuff of a certain technology level, so it's fine. Plus, they have all like the goons from the non-science
all the
empire,
muscle heads, yeah.
all the muscle heads to do work.
That's so smart though, because now they have their like worker base,
Yep.
so they could do like bigger projects.
They have their
because
goon
they
squad.
have their like goon squad.
Hell
to just
yeah.
do work.
So really cool. But then they realize like, oh well, who the frick is going to pilot this or captain this ship? Who's going to do it? So the reporter chick from before is like, well, there was this guy. Because, where do you find a sea captain who's really proficient at sailing vessels? Not a lot of them out there in this day and age. Like, there's plenty. Like, if you look it up on the internet now, you'll find 100 of them. But if you're in the future and in Japan and it's Stone World, it ain't so easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You got to
So-
kind of take what you can get.
She remembers, like, rich billionaire RYUSUI, who's, like, world adventurer, but he was, like, sailboat captain. And she remembers, kind of where he should be at. So they go find him, and he's nearby in Japan, and they go do it. So they get him. He immediately creates currency.
Which is hilarious.
And then uses it to enslave everybody, and then it gets used against him, and it's freaking hilarious.
It's not like a wicked awesome, just like quick introduction to how like the fake economy works.
Oh, it's freaking great. It's good stuff. So anyway, they're going to build a sailboat, but then it's like, well, sailboat alone ain't going to be enough. We need an engine as well. Well, then you need fossil fuels. So they got to go find oil. And to find oil, you got to survey it from the air because you got to figure out where the hell the oil fields are at.
Yep.
And they remember where an oil field was at in Japan, but you got to find that place. So they create a hot air balloon. And then they go on the adventure. Chrome and frickin' RYUSUI and Dr. Stone himself, whose name is escaping me at the moment because that's terrible. But anyway, they go up. Obviously, they talk about like birds being a problem, and birds are indeed a problem. They like freaking, go through part of the
Yeah, they blow a hole in it
blow a hole in the balloon, cause problems.
because they keep losing altitude. and they can't
Senku.
figure out
God,
why.
I can't. That's so terrible. I couldn't remember his name.
Man, it just came back after a super
Senku.
long hiatus.
Yeah, but it's a really good show. So anyway, they eventually find their fossil fuel, and then obviously they're going to set sail. So there's other stuff that happens in there. It's really entertaining. The animation's still great. The comedy's on point. The characters are really good.
It's like a couple good episodes of the series, basically.
Yeah, it's
together.
like a three to 4 episode arc, 3-episode arc. Right, it's like an
Probably.
hour without commercials, so it's about a 3-episode
Yeah,
arc.
exactly. I was stoked on it though because I've been waiting for it to come back.
Yeah, I mean it's an OVA, but it doesn't. It's
No.
not like It's not like not Demon Train. What the hell was that?
Demon Slayer,
The Demon Slayer. What the hell was the train?
Mugen Train.
Mugen Train. Yeah, it's not like the Mugen Train where like, holy shit, did they throw some money at that? And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Then the next season they threw money at that too. But it is just basically regular episodes of Dr. Stone jammed into an OVA. I mean, which is fine because the animation is fine, but don't expect it to be like, oh, it's next level. It's not really that. That's not really what they're trying to do.
Is it the kind of show that really needs that?
No, it doesn't.
There's not really fight
It doesn't.
scenes or anything.
I just
that
like to
needs
set
be
expectations because sometimes when they do OVAs for these things, they really
no.
throw money at it. Like again, Mugen Train. It's not that. Don't expect that.
That is like top tier for anything, though. You know, like they haven't done anything.
Well, I
else
can't even.
that's
I could say Mugen Train was above and beyond because it was from the stuff before, but the freaking Entertainment District arc to me looked as good as Mugen Train.
Oh,
so
easily. Yeah.
ridiculous.
They just threw some crazy money at that.
Oh my God.
I know it's super popular,
That
but
show.
damn. But damn.
But anyway, that's the Dr. Stone OVA.
Oh, you know we gotta hunt down the Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. We will check it out. We will watch that.
I gotta write these things down.
we have-
We gotta space it out.
We have the Odd Taxi movie too. We still got to watch.
Oh shit, that is.
and
right.
that's up there. Yep. I didn't want to watch it
Shit.
and stack too many things on top of each other for this week. So, and then you can't watch a million things and then you'll never remember them later. So,
I barely
bad
remember him
enough
now.
Dr. Stone, RYUSUI, go watch it. Really good. If you haven't watched Dr. Stone at all, what's wrong with you? Go catch up. New season I think is coming out next year. So go check it out because it's just a really good show. Really
It does
damn entertaining.
everything you like about Dr. Stone.
Yeah, it's really good. All right. So, moving on here. Let's talk about Mad God.
Probably the wildest thing I've seen in 20 years.
Probably the wildest thing I've seen maybe ever.
It's crazy.
I mean, it puts Eraserhead to shame, and it's a hell of a lot more entertaining.
yeah, it's just so crazy. An entire movie of super creepy stop motion is just
So it reminded me very
Madness.
much of a lot of those 70s wizards and a lot of that experimental shit. And it makes some sense. So
it reminds me a lot of the video for Undertow.
yeah, it has a very or not Undertow,
Sober. Sorry.
from Undertow, but I wish they had a video for Undertow. It's the best song on the album. Anyway, we're moving on. So listen to Tool, people. Mad God. So Phil Tippett did it. So Phil Tippett has done a bunch of stop motion animation. The biggest thing you'll probably remember him for is Empire Strikes Back. He did the Walkers.
Yep.
That's him, right? That's the guy. And he's been working on this for forever. So he started working on it after I think Return of the Jedi in the 80s, and then he shelved it for a while, right? And then he just decided to continue on this, and it's weird. So there's not really much dialogue. I mean, there's a little bit.
Almost nothing.
There's a little bit from the one little non-stop motion piece where it's a mix of stop motion and live action.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a guy who looks like he's from the freaking Death Corps of Krieg or
Yeah.
the First World War,
Very Nazi. Yeah.
getting not Nazi, World War I, man. He looks like a
Yeah, the gas
He
mask and all that.
he looks like a British World War I trooper. He's got that pie pan.
Oh, he does have. Yeah, you're
kind of
right.
helmet
I didn't even think of
and the
that.
trench coat.
Yep.
Anyway, he's getting lower down, and there's weird fortresses and weird looking demon people.
Yeah, he's getting lower down out of the sky
In, a
from
cage.
somewhere to this horrific, bombed out
Hellscape.
hellscape. Yeah.
And it keeps going down. And
And-
every area looks different, and I can't even imagine how much work it took to make each of them. Some of them
That's-
lasting for 30 seconds.
That is the thing with this movie. The amount of effort that went into every scene is just insane.
So this is not something you watch for a narrative structure or because you watch
No.
it just to look at it because it looks really fucking cool. Just a really cool looking animation. So this is available on Shudder. For if you have Amazon, you can also subscribe to Shudder. If you like horror movies, it's worth it. They got a ton of good stuff. I'd seek this out if you could. So anyway, stop motion, the whole thing. It's very good stop motion. It's very fluid for stop motion. Like I said, tons of different landscapes. It's not all the same thing. It's not a lot of reused assets. It's
No.
different area, different area, different area, different area. It's crazy.
And the demons are some of the coolest designs I've ever
so
seen.
I don't know why they all have to have weird spurting titties and
dicks everywhere.
flapping dicks. There's all sorts of
That one with the giant balls.
there's a lot of weirdness going on.
It's creepy as fuck.
It's very creepy. It's a very creepy thing. The whole scene where the guy's in the hospital or whatever.
Oh yeah, and they're cutting into his brain to see what he saw.
And then there's the screaming baby monster.
yes.
So it seems
It's deeply disturbing.
loosely the plot. It seems like this guy is this mad scientist guy. I don't know, whatever. God, who knows? He keeps lowering down these World War I looking dudes who are. It's weird to get scale because
They seem like some kind of like religious zealots.
yeah, they look kind of like that, but they're kind of created. Probably, who knows? They're like you think they're small, but then you see them next to the guy, and they're bigger than the guy. So they're like 8-9 feet tall. I mean,
Yeah, like
in
some
scale,
kind of weird super soldiers.
scale's tough in this, but anyway, it seems like they keep going down to like
Set off bombs.
and if they set off enough bombs, it'll reset the world. I don't know, man. Don't try to think about the plot too hard because it ain't about that. It's about just watching the weirdness.
Crazy demons exploding, shooting things everywhere.
Crazy demons, screaming babies. There's definitely some Bloodborne going on in there for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With the freaky wet nurse and the screaming baby. Oh, so weird.
And you know how
people getting turned to gold dust, like
you know how creepy stop motion is.
Oh yeah, the
like,
nukes going off.
Like think the thing in not Alien, the thing.
The Thing.
If you've ever seen The Thing from
the end.
the late 80s,
Early 80s.
Wow, it was early 80s.
Yeah, it's like 82, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Excellent movie.
Regardless,
There's a tiny bit of
like,
stop motion in that. They had a whole stop motion scene in that, but they got rid of most of it because it didn't look good enough, so they used a practical effect.
Yeah.
But
Either
there's
way,
still a little bit left.
It's that style of creepy shit.
It's very creepy. Coraline even.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of style. Coraline's awesome, by the way. If you haven't seen Coraline, go watch that. That's
I
some
can't
good shit.
watch Coraline. It creeps me out.
It's such a creepy movie. But man, interdimensional Keith David Cat is the best, and he saves the entire movie from being too creepy.
He really does.
Because he don't give a fuck about nothing.
He really doesn't.
Because he's an interdimensional cat. He don't give a shit about weird demons that want to sew buttons in your eyes.
It's true.
He's immune to that shit.
He
Anyway.
he has no fear.
Someday we'll do a review. You know what? We should just do a review of Coraline because animated it be.
Oh, man, you're going to make me watch it again.
It's so good. I haven't watched it in forever.
I watched it in the theater when it came out. That was it.
In 3D. That made it creepier.
It's true.
Anyway, Mad God.
Back when 3D was the thing.
It's hard to talk about it at length because it's just a lot of weird stuff. It's just, if you appreciate...
It's visually one of the coolest things you'll ever see.
Yeah, if you appreciate like the craftsmanship and the work that goes into something like that, watch it. Just watch it for that. It is so cool.
It's mind-blowing because you watch it and I picture all the shit that they had to make to do like one scene.
Yep.
And they're all different. Like they don't like you said before, they don't reuse stuff. Everything is like
there's a little bit of different scenes, but I mean there's got to be 30 plus different like locations that all had to be hand
Oh, when he's driving the Jeep like through
all over
those
the
different
place.
places. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
I would love to see the set they used.
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty big.
How
right?
big? It's got to be, right? Because that guy's got to be, 8 inches
to
tall.
get that kind of detail, you're gonna need something.
I'm thinking 8 to
decent
12
size.
inches tall.
Yeah,
so
like,
that means those sets are like 1 to 2 stories tall in some cases.
yeah,
because
probably I would say it's probably about 1 to 1. Nah, probably like
1/6 scale.
1/6 scale. Yeah.
1/6, 1/8, something like that. I'm thinking bigger than 1/12, but
yeah.
Regardless, very very cool. Just a great thing to watch. It's creepy. Do not watch it if you're on any kind of hallucinogen. You will lose your mind.
Yeah, you'll claw your eyes out or something.
I'm not even sure you want to watch it if you're baked out of your mind. It'd probably be a bad idea too.
Yeah.
Have a couple beers, a little bit of whiskey, and
mellow out. Otherwise, you're gonna freak out.
maybe watch it in the middle of the day
Hyper creepy.
because it's very fucking weird.
There's some shit in there that, like, yeah, it's wild.
It's freaking wild.
Anyway, highly, highly, highly recommended.
Yeah, like not because it's awesome in a narrative sense. Not that you're gonna leave it going, oh, that was a great story. Oh, I'm so sad. No. Just for the coolness of all the stuff.
I think it's going to be one of those ones I like rewatch on Halloween just because it's so wild. And I want to force other people to watch it who haven't seen it.
And just to experience like the weirdness again. But
it is
anyway,
wild.
go check
and
it out.
It's the kind of thing, there's so many little details in there. You probably got to, you watch it 20 times, probably keep picking out new stuff, which I love.
83 minutes, so not too long.
Nope.
And yeah, really cool. Go check it out.
Definitely.
All right. We've come to it. Let's talk about Cyber City Uedo.
I still cannot fucking believe that I haven't seen this until now.
Yeah, Kawajiri, 1990 to 91 was the release. 3 episodes, 40 minutes a pop. You got 3 main characters. Each episode is about one of those characters. Although the other characters, each episode has all 3 of the main characters. It's just it's focused on one of them.
Yeah.
So you got the basic premise is it's like the year 2700. It's basically a cyberpunk future. It's not as dingy as a lot of cyberpunk futures. It does look a little cleaner.
Quite shiny.
But there's a lot of crime. And there's a lot of prisoners put in like space prison for hundreds of years. Well, altered carbon going on there.
Yeah, it basically starts out they're on like a prison satellite, orbiting Earth.
Orbital prisons.
And they basically give these 3 dudes like a deal. It's like you could go back to Earth and be cops, and you're gonna wear these collars, and if you fuck up, we'll blow you up.
Yeah, so they skip why bother having cops that are gonna become crooked? You just start off with criminals, and you don't have to worry about it. So. I guess being a cop in the cyberpunk future is really hard, and you probably die a lot. So, hey, why try to recruit for it or pay life insurance and all this shit when you can just get prisoners? So,
and every guy every criminal you bust or whatever, you get time knocked off your 8 million year sentence.
Yeah, you're 300+ year sentence. So they never really get into what each of the criminals is in there for. I think it said it in the very first episode on the screen, but it's not important.
Hacker Man's in there for hacking.
It seems like they're not evil. Like the 3 main characters obviously aren't super evil. Like they're just they're cyberpunks. They're thieves. They probably ripped off corporations or whatever. It's that kind of stuff. It's not really like they just murdered children or something.
Yeah,
and now
babies.
No, they're not that evil. So you got.
They're
3 main characters.
They're lovable anti-heroes.
You got Sengoku, who's the first one. He is the very traditional anime protagonist. He's
very bland.
He's very generic. No problem with him, but he's just like the generic hero from that era. I mean, he's the Jubei, but not even as interesting as Jubei from Ninja Scroll. Then you got Goggles, who I think is the coolest.
He's Hacker Man.
He's Hacker Man. So the big dude who's got, the mohawk and the visor.
Mad scars on his face.
Yeah, mad scars all over the place. And he's got freaking all the hacking skills, but he's also a giant brute guy. He's pretty cool. And then you have Ben 10, who at first you're like, oh, they got a chick too. No, this is a dude who's glammed to the max.
Here he is.
To the max. Now, again, he's glammed to the max, but there's no hint that he's gay or not. There's no romance really going on in here.
Except with the vampire chick later.
Yeah, but even that's that's very tame, right? There's not much going on there. But anyway, he's got he looks like a chick from one of these. He looks kind of like the Major, honestly, or the main girl from Ninja Scroll, whose name I can't remember. Same kind of character design with the giant, the fringe and the big hair and. He's got the red lipstick and the red freaking long nails. He looks like a chick.
But he dresses like a dude. And he has a very manly voice.
Yeah, very manly. Anyway, so the first episode, as I said, it's about Sengoku. It's the most straightforward episode. There's a bunch of people trapped in this skyscraper that's it's the space scraper. Oh, no, is the space scraper the second one? No, that's the first one. That's the first one, the space scraper.
It's not the skyscraper, it's the space scraper.
Yeah, super tall skyscraper. And one of the guys who worked on it, I don't know, for some reason.
These 2 guys designed it, and the guy who did most of the work was going to get this elite status, and his understudy basically murdered him so he could take his status or whatever.
Basically, he could be the only guy who gets all the money and becomes an elite. So he kills him, but then things happen. The basement, he pushes him over the edge, but in the basement of the space scraper, the AI that runs the building basically merges with the corpse of the other guy.
As you would imagine it would.
And then the building starts to go crazy and wants, obviously, the guy who killed him dead. And Sengoku's got to go in there. So some of the tropes, like you said, they have the collars, the explosive collars on, it's freaking Running Man. And
they're always given a time limit every episode.
And the police chief, Hasegawa, he's got this little gold lighter that's got a timer on it. He always gives him a time limit, you better solve this case in 24 hours or else your head's going to explode.
Such a dick.
It's such a ridiculous thing. So anyway, in the first one, Sengoku's got to go to the skyscraper, and he's got to deal with the problem. At first, it's just like, hey, why don't you just kill the guy? He's a murderer. Like, why don't you just kill him?
I would have just smoked him.
He's like, no, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take care of this problem. And then they, like, take out the gyros in the space scraper. The AI does, and it starts tilting a lot. It's like, you probably should have just killed that guy because this looks really freaking dangerous right now.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if that thing's that big...
Never mind just the people in the building. Like,
it's going to
who
smash,
else?
like,
who else is going to die?
a mile away.
How many people died just scrambling to evacuate? Like,
It's true.
Madness.
They don't think about these things.
Absolute
Collateral
madness.
damage, damn it.
So anyway, that episode goes about like you would think, and it's a really good episode. Let's see.
The second one's probably my favorite.
Second one is Goggles episode. Yeah, I think the second one's the best one. I agree. Goggles is the coolest character, and his episode is the best episode. So the special forces, are they military? Are they police? Who knows? Corporation, whatever.
Yeah, they're like corporate special forces, which means
military. They make a experimental cyborg. But they, obviously they're engaging in legal human experiments.
Basically
and all this
RoboCop,
stuff.
except way more terrifying.
They basically cut you off at the knees and the elbows and jam you inside of like a metal like suit, and then
As if you're a dreadnought.
and of course enhance your psychic powers because that's a thing.
Because of course it would.
Because of course it does. It's not good enough that you're an unstoppable metal monster. You also need ridiculous psychic powers.
Man, he doesn't touch anything. He just like crushes you with his mind.
Yeah, they crush you with their mind. So anyway, this is Goggles figuring out what's going on, and for some reason they've decided Goggles is who they want to test this out on, and they figured that they decided this way in advance.
Apparently, yeah.
And then Goggles has this thing with Sarah. So
they want to test the thing on Goggles for some reason. I guess he's that epic.
No idea why.
That notorious. So they kidnap a former associate of his, and they use
probably Sarah.
Yeah, they use her to scam him into getting involved, and then she betrays him.
But she doesn't really betray him.
She actually feels bad about it.
Yep.
Which blew my mind. I've been watching so many like modern things where women are just miserable cunts that it was epic. She actually she does die. She actually
Of course she dies. That was obvious from the beginning.
I know. She actually dies trying to save him.
Yep. And then he's of course mad because she dies. Again, this all feels very Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the same beats, but it's okay. They're very good beats. They're well trod for a reason. And then the showdown happens, right? And Hasegawa is trying to get one up on the special forces guys, but he's like, "No, Goggles, you have to win. I'm giving you like 8 hours to win.
Or
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
win."
blow your head up.
And it's ridiculous. And Goggles has his final showdown at Tokyo Tower for some reason, even though it's like looks tiny because everything is just giant superstructures around it.
They really fuck up Tokyo Tower.
Yeah, man. And they fuck up Tokyo Tower. Not as bad as Gamera did in that Gamera movie, but the Gauss did in that Gamera movie. Actually, it wasn't even the Gauss. It was the stupid government, the military that blew it up, trying to deal with the Gauss. But anyway, we won't get into Gamera this week. We did watch that too. So that's Goggles' episode. Obviously, he doesn't actually get killed. Spoiler alert. And then he wins. Pretty cool. Very good episode. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's my favorite. It's also fairly straightforward, but maybe it's because Goggles the character. I like the whole angle with Sarah there. It
gave him more personality.
And the Hasegawa stuff, you could hear, you can kind of see he's got a background with the special forces. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, because that guy was a dick on purpose when he called him up, right?
Yep. And then the last one is Crimson Media. So this is Ben 10's episode. So Dr. Glam. So now you got not psychic vampires, but vampires that have psychic powers.
Sure.
So some girl gets like unfrozen from, she was from the year like 2500. Now she's unfrozen, but she's got this virus that really enhances her psychic power, but she needs to consume live blood or else, because her body doesn't make blood anymore. So she needs to just have a source of live blood all the time.
It makes her immortal too.
So she goes
That's the important part.
Yep. It basically makes her immortal. So she goes after a bunch of
Right.
scientists that are criminals, like genetic criminals. So that's what the crime they're investigating. It leads Ben 10 to the evil old man, because there's always an evil old man. Don't worry about his name. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
The evil old man who kind of like, he wants to use it. He wants to live forever, and he's real old, real old. So he wants to infect himself with the virus, which is why she was unfrozen. He wants to infect himself with that virus so he can basically live forever.
And just suck people's blood.
And he makes himself basically invincible. There's a showdown between Ben 10 and him. He blows up out an airlock, but he like knits him. He like teleports back into the place.
That is one of my favorite like parts of the whole thing.
Yeah.
He gets sucked out an airlock and blown into a zillion pieces, and then somehow he teleports himself back in and knits himself back
together.
Together.
It's ridiculous.
A zillion pieces.
It's completely ridiculous. Don't ask questions. But then Goggles had figured out like a cure for the virus.
Yeah, like an antidote.
Using the work of some of those geneticists before.
Yeah, like he didn't figure it out. He just like
he finished the work.
He hacked like.
Well, and he finished the work. He said he had to finish the work.
No, but he decrypted the thing that Bente gave him.
Yeah, which was
and he finished it.
This was what all those genetic guys were working on that got killed, right? They were looking for a cure for the virus. They got the cure for the virus. So he uses the cure for the virus on the main bad guy, and obviously what happens.
And then once he's mortal again, you can kill him.
Yeah,
but he was so old, he just
crumbles to dust. Yeah, and that's basically it, man. They're all pretty straightforward. They're all good episodes. So, what do you like about it?
Great animation, great characters.
Love that old madhouse.
Yeah, like that's why I couldn't believe I hadn't seen it, because like Kawajiri, like that old madhouse stuff. It's like God, some of my favorite shit ever. Just a pleasure to watch. It had all your favorite like 80s beats,
every trope,
all your favorite cyberpunk stuff. Great characters. Every single one of them was likable.
Yep.
They flushed. I always say flushed. Fleshed. They fleshed them out enough so you could like really get into their personalities. You know what I mean?
They give you just enough.
It was
so
cool that like each one had an episode, so you could like kind of dig into them a little more.
Yep, but without going overboard. They leave enough mystery there.
You could have done a whole You
can do a whole series of this. You
easily like 24 to 50 some episodes of that. I would be stoked on it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I was surprised it never popped up again because it's such a cool universe.
Yeah,
it was kind of, to me, it was like
it's one of the better cyberpunk ones.
Yeah, it was like kind of if somebody asked me like what like give me like the most cyberpunk thing with like everything in it, that is it.
I might say Bubblegum Crisis, but this is up there too.
Yeah, like both of them. You kind of, but yeah, this had everything.
They're right up there to me as like really good cyberpunk classics.
Yeah, like if you want like a introduction to cyberpunk, this is like a super good thing to get. Just check out.
40-minute episodes, 45
They feel
minutes.
short because like you almost expect more.
They're paced really well. It's streaming on Retro Crush. Retro Crush has a lot of cool stuff on it. A lot of dank freaking super robot shows.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we've done reviews of in the past is on Retro Crush right now. Yeah. So,
but anyway, Kawajiri, anything the man does has been great. Ninja Scroll, of course, fantastic. So I can't say enough good things about Uedo. It's got that classic late 80s, early 90s animation. The only thing is it's still of the era before things were like digitally colored, so it's not super bright. It's still a little darker, not darker, but a little washed out.
It does have like
the
digital
palette
color yet or anything.
It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It actually looks great, but it just
really pretty.
It's very pretty. It's
I
very
don't
well
think
done.
cyberpunk stuff should be like.
I don't disagree.
The old cyberpunk stuff, I like it dingy,
but
like it should be
compare
super
it to like
shiny.
Iria Zerum.
Yeah,
which is a couple years later.
Popped way more. Yeah.
Or like Orgus 02 again. It's a couple years later. Like that's where you see.
Yeah,
like,
you could tell the difference.
Where the digital color pops. It doesn't have that, but honestly, I'm with you. Like it suits the cyberpunk aesthetic. So
yes,
I got no complaints. This is one of those ones where we're not going to go on about it too much because it's just really good and you should watch it.
Yeah, it's streaming. Like he said before, on Retro Crush. Easy to find. Do yourself a favor and watch it. It's fantastic.
Excellent show. So, go watch Cyber City Uedo 808.
I don't know where the 808 comes from, but whatever.
Don't matter.
Anyway, that's about it for today. So, as usual, have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
And remember, kids, never trust the government.
Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.